Bill and Ben were enjoying a long-deserved rest at the quarry. They had been shunting clay trucks all day and were glad to be resting their weary wheels. "Whew," wheezed Ben. "I don't ever want to leave this shed ever again." "Me too," confided Bill. "It is nice to finally take the weight off your wheels." Then the quarry master walked up. Bill, I have a favor to ask. Edward is broken down and can't collect the train bound for the scrapyard. Could you cover for him?" Bill was worried. He didn't like working at the Smelters, especially on his own. "Can I go with Ben?" he asked hopefully. "Sorry, Bill," said the quarry master, "but Ben is needed here. These trucks are needed for Brendam docks. Mavis will cover for you until you get back." Bill was very nervous. "Never mind," comforted Ben. "It should be a quick job, and don't let those horrid diesels get the best of you." "I'll try," said Bill hopefully as he puffed off to the Smelters. As Bill made his way to the smelter yards, he couldn't stop thinking about working without Ben, and he was especially worried about Arry and Bert. Bill winced as he approached the entrance to the Smelters. Heaps and piles of twisted scrap metal laid everywhere. Engine parts and hoods of rusted lorries laid everywhere. Soon, when he had calmed down, Bill looked all around for Arry or Bert. But to his surprise, the two diesels were nowhere to be found. "Strange," he quizzed. "It's not like Arry and Bert just suddenly disappear like that." Just then, something caught his eye. He looked down and gasped. It was an old, ragged whistle. "What's that doing here?" he asked. His driver walked out the cab. "No clue," he said, "but it looks in perfect shape." He quickly picked it up and stormed into the cab. Arry and Bert were in their sheds. Normally, they'd be planning to trick the steam engines, but this time, they were trembling and rattling in fear. Bill's whistle made them jump. "There you two are," cried Bill. "What exactly are you doing here?" The two diesels didn't respond. They shook with fear. "What's got your buffer so twisted?" asked Bill cheekily. "When we went inside the smelting shed," cried Arry, "we saw a ghost engine." "Yes," exclaimed Bert, "and it wants to eat us alive. It told us to go away and never come back again." Bill was very surprised. Arry and Bert would never stoop this low to being afraid of ghosts. Even so, Bill still puffed into the smelting shed to collect his train. His driver was very curious. "Ghost," he said to the fireman. "I've heard tales about an old ghost engine who lost his whistle at the smelter yards and still wanders the rails trying to find it." Bill gulped as he entered the smelting shed. The furnace, along with the huge grabber, made everything look spooky. He didn't have to worry long, as he found his trucks waiting at the far end of the siding. Bill sighed with relief, but then he heard a strange sound. It sounded like there was another steam engine around. He looked all around, but there was no engine in sight. Bill closed his eyes and found himself face to face with a huge rusty engine. Its paint was chipped, its side rods were twisted, and it had no face on its door. Bill trembled. Who are you? He asked. But the engine didn't reply. It stared coldly at him. Just then, Arry and Bert rattled in. It's the ghost! They called. Get away from him! Just then, the engine began to move slowly to Bill. Then it picked up speed. Arry and Bert gasped. Just then, Bill had an idea. Now! He cried, and his driver marshaled out of the cab. The engine looked down at his hands and gasped. There was his old shining whistle. A tear formed in the engine's face. My whistle! He cried with delight. I finally found it. Now I can live at peace at last. Thank you. Thank you very much. And with those words said, the engine disappeared in a flash of steam. Bill was delighted. The two diesels had seen everything and were very impressed. Well done, Bill! They shouted with delight. You know, Arry, Bert whispered, I'm beginning to like steam engines more. They're more braver than we think. Soon it was time for Bill to leave. Arry and Bert called out to him. You're the bravest little engine we've ever seen. Come back again soon. When Bill got back to the quarry, he told Ben and Mavis all about what had happened. Quite an adventure you had, Bill, said Mavis cheekily. I never thought you of all engines would see ghosts, chuckled Ben. Bill was proud. He had been more brave than he had thought he'd been.